Welcome back to Sports Medicine on Tap. My name is Brandon O'Ly, and I'm back at Neck of the Woods Brewing Company with my good friend Dr. Frey. What's going on?
A lot of lacrosse. Traveling, driving, and standing on some sidelines.
There you go.
How about you?
A lot of traveling.
Yeah.
I felt like I've lived out of a suitcase for the month of July for the most part.
I look back, and it sounds absurd, and I have not had a weekend in which I was either in which I wasn't on call, in that I didn't drive at least 2 hours in one direction, going back to like basically late April. Uh-huh. And it's going to continue now right through to near the end of August.
Yep.
Like, it's unreal.
Yeah. I've been, since our last recordings, we haven't been at Neck of the Woods in a while. We did all our recordings at NATA. Since then, like right after we got done at NATA, I went right to my dad's house in Maryland.
Awesome.
It's in Maryland for 4th of July, an extended stay. We stayed till the middle of the week.
Where were you in Maryland over the 4th of July?
Middle River, Maryland.
We were in Maryland as well. A little further, like past Easton, a little further down, Eastern Shore though.
Okay.
Also 4th of July, we were down there. Yeah. We actually went and did a tour of Annapolis. And we were like 4th of July, 250th. This will be awesome. It'll be. I'll have all this stuff going on. Zero. You would not even know it was. You would think it's a regular Tuesday or something like that. Not even an acknowledgement of the 4th of July, much less the 250th anniversary. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Really cool to see. Anyway, still pretty amazing. But oh my.
Yeah, we got hit with a bunch of storms, so we didn't even get any like fireworks or anything. Well,
and by Annapolis, I mean the naval.
Yeah. We went down and the local fireworks
rained out.
Us too. Well, yes and no. They didn't get rained out. They got postponed about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And my dad's neighbor is actually one of the tech guys who does all the pyro work for.
That's pretty cool.
So he was on the boat, on the barge, and they were losing equipment because of the weather and the water, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they just postponed it. And he goes, I kept everybody up because they started, instead of like 9 p.m., they started like 11:30 p.m. And at that point, we were in bed. So I heard it.
Yeah.
I heard the explosions and all the fireworks. We didn't see any of them though.
Yeah. We were going to stay in Annapolis and watch their fireworks. And we're like, you know what? We got time. We can get home. We can get back to the place that we were Airbnb-ing. Mm-hmm. And we start driving back. And by the time we got back there, we go and we set up. And we got this awesome spot. And next thing you know, we're like, where are the fireworks? And then the wind. And then the rain. And then they got postponed to the next day. And we're like, we literally didn't see any fireworks.
Nope. I saw a few through some trees, and that's about it.
Right. What are you going to do?
Before we go ahead and get deep down in this our conversation tonight, just give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Virtua Orthopedics and Spine. From runners, knee, and dog walkers hip, they have a doc for that. Yardware, back, and laptop wrist, they have a doc for that too. Virtua Orthopedics and Spine has over 120 providers, over 20 PT and rehab facilities, and more than 25 surgical centers all across South Jersey. So find the right specialist for you at virtua.org/ortho. Yeah. And a shout out to our friends over at Protected. If you've been listening for a while, you know we love our Protected people. We love them because they get elite athletes back in the game safely. For athletic trainers, this is the ultimate tool belt upgrade. A full suite of customized bracing products ordered via a quick 30-second 3D scan on a simple iPhone app. They're your go-to solution for custom face masks used across the NBA, WNBA, Elite Soccer, AC joint pads that don't restrict range of motion, and hand and wrist splints that keep players totally functional. So go check out their 3D printed products in person. Visit www.protect3d.io to learn more.
And so we saw Kevin at NATA, right? Like from Protected, right?
Yeah.
First was great seeing him again.
Yeah, great guy.
One. Yeah, 2, we got him on, and we have a bunch of shows being released from that. We've kind of been a little bit delinquent in our duties and getting them out, but they're coming out. It was really cool to see all the extra new stuff that they've added to the mix, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to, Dr. Bertha is not on the show with us tonight. The original plan was to have Dr. Bertha on the show with us and do a show the following week. And little surprises about what we scanned and what we did and how quickly he got back at it. So that's on the horizon. That's coming. But really, really impressive stuff. Really cool.
Yeah. And it's also interesting. It just feels like, even from the first time we met Kevin and we had him on, all his stuff looked really good and really nice. And I felt like when we saw him at NATA, it just looked a little cleaner,
next level,
crisper. Like it just looked smoother. Everything just looked like polished, if you will.
Polished. That's
like
a good word.
it just not that it changed much, but
Yeah.
it just looked like the finishing products, they're probably changing the material slightly, so it's got a little more shine, a little more glamour to it.
Yeah.
And everything looks so good and it fit comfortable.
Improving the app, making ease of taking the scan and all this other stuff. Yeah.
I think we scanned somewhat. I know we scanned Dr. Bertha there, but we scanned like your hand or his hand real quick.
Right on the show.
Right on the show. And it was just, I felt like it was faster and more accurate than the first time we did it. And it's just amazing how technology just keeps evolving.
Yeah.
And these things exist. And people like Kevin are out there making the world of sports medicine way better with their technology.
Much better place. Yeah.
We haven't sat down and talked. I don't think you and I have sat down and had a just you and I conversation or a show, if you will, in quite some time. But it's been a month since we recorded at NATA, and we're like, we have to sit down and just kind of catch up a little bit. And I think that's kind of what tonight's going to be. It's going to be a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some surface level starting topics, if you will, and
a couple of really interesting ones out there, and we want to get the guys who know the most about it on with us. But we'll do a little teaser.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to get some teasers going. But I think something that is in our wheelhouse that we can definitely dive into a little bit is one of the bigger stories in sports as of recently was the return of Conor McGregor that ended very, very shortly.
Bust.
I mean, we've recorded more right now than the whole fight took. We're about 6 minutes into recording. That fight only lasted about 69 seconds.
Crazy.
And man, it was 5 years in the mix and waiting for a little bit of nothing.
Yeah. Injuries are bad.
Yeah.
And as you get older, injuries happen more quickly.
Yeah, and I think
I wasn't watching it. You sent me a text like as it happened.
Yeah, I sent you. I was like, as soon as it happened, I was like, this
boy.
Late night Dr. Frey text. I got to let him know that it just happened if he didn't see it.
Yeah, and my son came. I forget where we were. Again, we were out at lacrosse somewhere.
Yeah,
and my son came running over. He's like, "Oh man, did you hear what just happened?" And I was like, "Yeah, I already heard."
Yeah, and it's I think it's an interesting topic because one, obviously, Conor McGregor is one of the biggest names in the UFC in the most recent history. He's changed the fight game. He
has.
He changed the way people prep for fights, how they monetize their fights, how they value themselves and their own business model. And I mean, he's got a bunch of money. He's got, alcohol business. He just released right after this fight. I think this injury kind of spoiled the release of his energy drink.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's called the Mac, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I think this kind of put a bad taste in everyone's mouth from the fight.
Does it hurt his brand?
Yeah,
overall?
like his brand is a little injured there. But I think the irony behind it, right? He fought Max Holloway, and he lasted 69 seconds. The last time he fought Max Holloway, he tore his ACL in his left leg.
It's incredible.
It was just like, what are the odds that you're fighting the same guy and the same injury kind of happens?
On the other knee.
Yeah, on the other knee, right? And super unfortunate for him, but I think something we can talk about is obviously what's this look like, because he's a little older now. He's 38 years old.
Right.
He's making a lot of claims that he wants to come back and he's going to do one more after this. And then
I mean, he's forced to, right? Like he's not going to be like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he could, but I think that to keep his brand going, to keep pushing to keep him on the forefront, you have to, I'm coming back. I'll see you. Yeah.
And I mean, the attention that he brings and the fight card itself was so stacked. There was so many good fights leading up to it. Patty Bimlett fought right beforehand, had a really nice submission in a quick amount of time, another first round finish.
He's a creepy looking dude. I don't know what I have to say. And it feeds into his brand. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Patty the Bad. He's nothing to mess with. But
you don't expect him to be as bad as he is.
Yeah,
he's a bad man.
He's a bad man for sure. And I think it was interesting. I saw some videos of him backstage with Dana White. He goes, "I'll step in and go fight Max right now."
Did he really?
Yeah. He was like, "I'll keep going." And obviously there's some regulations where that can't happen.
Sure.
But in theory, right, he took almost no damage, if any at all, in that fight. Yeah. Neither did Max. If that would have happened, that would have been a really crazy sequence of events. But I think, like we mentioned, coming back after 38 years old, it happened, a couple weeks ago. We're 2 weeks out. I believe he had surgery on it already. I think
he did pretty quickly. Yeah.
I think it took a couple days, and he confirmed it was the ACL meniscus injury.
Yeah.
So he has surgery, so the timer starts now,
Yeah.
So you figure 10 months from now, he's going to start talking, and I think that he's looking to maybe next summer come back. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's referencing his last recovery, which was about 10 months till he was back in the octagon.
And he was going down the road of peptides and this and that. Whether it truly winds up having an impact or make a difference, remains to be seen. I'm not saying that they don't, because there's probably some. I just don't know that we fully understand it to safely regulate it. But nonetheless, like in terms of his recovery, I get it. I understand why he's got a lot riding on that line. But I think that's part of his plan in terms of recovery. We've talked about it a whole bunch of times, like the increased risk that someone has in tearing your other ACL once you've torn an ACL. And we keep saying it's crazy. What are the odds and whatnot? And yes, it's the crazy part is the fact that I have to be fighting the same guy. Whatever it was it like a year later or a year and a half later? That part's kind of wild. And the fact that it didn't happen at any other point. This is what we're talking about. Like, people who tear their ACL probably have some predisposing factors, and that's why they tore the one ACL, and that predisposing factor remains in place. We've done our best to sort of identify some of them within science, but that's still there. It is one of the most nutso stats as far as I'm concerned. The fact that it's just about the same. The re-tear rate of the reconstructed ACL is very similar to the tear rate of the other contralateral knee.
Yeah, and I think with that too is that he tore his right ACL in this most recent injury. And he just came off of a 5-year hiatus or recovery from a tib-fib fracture on his left leg. So he's tore his ACL on his left leg, then he had the tib-fib fracture on his left leg. So I'm sure after 5 years of time in rehab and training and everything, and apparently from what I read and saw, that he was really locked in. He dropped all alcohol.
That's what I had read too.
And he was very much
dedicated to this.
Very dedicated for this comeback, and something like this happened. And I think it's kind of twofold. Like, I was talking to my coworker today about it. It's like, it's like he was just so rusty, and he just went out there and tried to go kick, and then it didn't work. And I was like, I think that's a little bit of ring rust is kind of real in this situation, because he went for it and he went too much into it. He lunged way too far. His foot didn't land appropriately. He was way out in front of him, and that caused a little change in the shear force. And the next thing you know, his knee gave out. And it's like, it's tough to see that happen. And I'm sure that in the back of his mind, he felt something like, oh, this can't be good. And then he tried to keep going, but there was
tough as it can be, right?
And we've briefly talked about guys who've torn ligaments in their knee early in fights and finished them, or whatever the case was. Not too long. I forget who it was. I probably texted you. It was like, this guy just tore his ACL to knock the dude out within 10 minutes or whatever, a couple seconds after.
There are varying degrees of instability.
For sure.
And sometimes some people are just buckling and falling all over, and they can't maintain it. And sometimes, like, we see it even on the football field, right? Like, someone goes down, they have that injury, and sometimes you're like, tore his ACL. And they can get up and they can walk off the field, and other times guys get up and their second step, you can see it shift in front of your eyes, and they're like, oh. And that's kind of what you saw on the McGregor thing. But I think something that we can talk about too, and kind of debunk a little bit, is there's a lot of talk afterwards of that Conor McGregor went into the fight injured. And that this knee was bothering him beforehand, and then whatever. And I looked at it and I was like, I didn't buy into it. I was like, I think it's purely a freak accident. Like, it's just one of those things that happens. I think a little bit of ring rust. He got excited. He was in the moment. He wanted to start his fights like he likes a lot of the time. He starting with a big move. And you see the videos or anything from him warming up in the back. He was doing that kick a bunch of times. And you saw that leg firing nice and stable, but it was very short distance. He didn't lunge so far and didn't try to kick. Different circumstances.
And then I thought it was really funny and ironic how the internet works, of they kept replaying the clip of him taking his shoe off. And he kind of took his shoe off and kind of did a little bouncing and didn't put pressure on his leg. And I was like, well, how many times do the average person just take your shoe off and you kind of have a little misstep, a little bounce problem? And you're in a one-legged stance. And he looked fine going for. I was like, this is not. And people were buying into it. You could see it. He's not putting any pressure on his leg. I was like, no, it looks like he's just standing on one leg for 10 seconds.
Everything's a conspiracy theory. And was it actually true? I mean, I guess it's possible, right? But everything's a conspiracy theory.
But like I said, I'm not buying into it, or didn't buy into it, because you see the videos of him throwing that same exact kick 10 minutes before that happened. It's just freak in nature.
You would think that he would either not throw that kick before the fight, or come out with something he knows that's not going to be a problem for him,
Right.
if he was worried about it. You know what I mean? Like it is strange that the exact kick that he did was the one that he was practicing and didn't have any problems before, but then did.
And usually when a fighter is in a situation where they're in the ring and something goes wrong and they can't use a hand, a foot, or whatever, they change their style and they don't use that move anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So he wouldn't do that kick and his leg be bad and then he'd go do it anyway. He would, in theory, if he was really hurt, he wouldn't have thrown that kick at all.
No, he would have basically protected that knee.
Yeah,
right?
he would have protected that knee. Probably did a little more boxing, maybe wrestled or whatever the case was. But
yeah, and like they try to keep if he knows about a particular injury, like he tries to keep that to himself. He doesn't want other people to figure that out midway through.
Right.
Who was it? I remember. What was it? Was it California Kid? Who was the wrestler? From California with the long hair.
The California Kid was Uriah Faber.
Yeah, Uriah Faber. And I remember like he broke his hand in the middle of the fight. I remember the fight. And then
versus Mike Brown.
Right.
I'm
exactly.
a really big Uriah Faber fan.
Is that
so
right?
you're whatever you need to know, I got it.
But like you could see the change in the fight. You could see when it happened. And you could like the announcers are even calling it like he's not going to one of the things that he does very well. It's just hard to imagine that if he had knowledge of this injury beforehand that he would subject himself and put himself out there. Yeah.
And then, the argument is, well, it's like millions of dollars, like $30 million or whatever on the line. Like, yeah, I get it, the financial incentive, but like at the same time, he is very much an entertainer. I think that's embarrassing to put yourself in that situation I think he was pretty upset.
I'm sure.
And I think also his transparency of the whole situation was interesting too, of like he kind of went in a little bit of like the psychology of it. Like he was like, yeah, I'm in a really dark place now. This is like the devil's looking me right in the eyes, or whatever his tweet was saying, of like how dark the situation was for him. And I think having that raw experience and like put that out there is like, yeah, this is kind of really happened. Like, yeah, he's upset too. He wanted to go the distance and make this big ordeal, and obviously it came up short. He's pretty pissed off about it.
It's rough. Yeah. I will say, I think that some of the UFC fighters, and this is going to lend to one of our conversations that's coming up a little bit, but these are generally like next level tough guys. We talk about hockey players and some of the other. We have a few really
tough guys, right?
Some really tough guy.
I think we're going to segue right into our next one. Then we'll go right back to it. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. But like even though he and not just tough in a way that like he goes out and he fights and puts everything on the line, but like these guys can absorb a lot. They can absorb a lot. Do you think he has any career left? I think 2020, like I guess it's possible, but I think it's a little bit unlikely for him to be formidable at that particular point. Do you think he has any career left at all?
I think so. I think I know I was just reading, I think today, that he really wants to fight Max Holloway again. And I think him and Max Holloway at least are in the similar position of their fight career of like they're not only got a couple more left, if one or two, if any, and they both want that big payday and they both want to have this. And now, the world of fighting sports, they love trilogies. They love now it's a trilogy, right? And I think they're split 1-1. Max got one and Conor McGregor's got one. So it's like, now you go for the
best of three, baby.
And then we see what we got. I think they do. I know Max is on his way out, so I think it'll kind of be them riding off not in the sunset, but like this is going to be the last one for both of them.
The swan song, yeah. This is the big one.
Yeah, I do think it happens.
I can see it happening. It's not beyond, reason or logic.
Like it's what we won't see is Conor McGregor fighting anyone who's not a really big name and worth the time. He's not going to fight any Joe Schmo. It's not going to be like a tune-up fight to make sure he's going to fight a big name.
Why would he? Yeah. Why risk?
Yeah.
The ability to have the big fight.
Right. So he's going to go for it. But to go about your talk about tough guys, we're going to flip the script and go to baseball real quick, because I think this is a great story of toughness. In Joshua Kuroda-Grauer from the Oakland A's had a pretty unfortunate at bat.
Oh boy,
one of the worst. Right, he was at up at bat, fouled a pitch off, and it went right directly into his groin. He went down on the ground for a little bit of time. He was down for like a minute. The medical staff came out, checked on him, talked to him a little bit. Eventually got up. Kind of was adjusting himself, kind of felt okay, and then he goes and stands in the box for 3 more pitches and hits a single. Goes to first base.
Impressive.
Then innings over, he goes out to play. I believe he's third baseman. Goes out to play third base and gets subbed out. And then it was reported that he ended up going to the emergency room because he had a ruptured testicle and needed emergency surgery.
Oh my God.
Man, you want to talk about toughness. If that injury happened from, all right, I don't know exactly the speed of the pitch. So we can say on the slow end would be 90 miles an hour.
I have to imagine.
Right?
Yeah, fouled right in there.
And it's fouled off the ball, off the bat. So it's got a little more like a ricochet speed there.
Yeah.
Goes on, you rupture a testicle, then you stand for 3 more pitches, swing, do that. Made contact, hit a single. I guess, I don't know exactly where the ball went, but run down the first base if you, whatever that felt like.
Go down.
Then goes about and then ends up ending his night with emergency surgery.
Right. I didn't read far enough ahead to find out what they did in the emergency surgery. Well, I guess we'll get there in just a little bit, and what typically the 2 options are. And hopefully in the not so distant future we'll have one of our specialists on to get to some of the more of the details.
Yeah.
Why aren't people wearing cups?
Yeah. It's funny. Like I played lacrosse growing up in high school, and I was pretty diligent. I wore a cup regularly. I just wasn't about it. Like, and then high school boys, right? Cup check, you get whacked with a stick, and you want to be protected.
Right.
A good friend of mine made it his whole career. He played it in high school with us for about 2 years.
Yeah.
His final game of his high school career took a shot right into the groin, and not wearing a cup. Luckily, didn't have any severe injury, but he just took a nice shot in the groin, which is never fun.
Yeah.
But it's just the irony of it is you made it this far in your very last game, you had to go out with a bang
of his career. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I will hammer my son all the time. Did you bring your cup? Did you bring your cup? And I remember once or twice, mad scramble to run back to get home to try to get the kid's cup.
Yeah.
He is pretty good about it now. He knows I'm going to just be nuts about it.
Yeah.
But man, we
great wording there.
No pun intended.
Good.
Crazy about it. And we make fun of baseball players all the time for the kind of lack of toughness, right? I think we might need to rethink that impression.
That is next level toughness if you're dealing with that, and you kind of, I don't know, you hit a single, you're not out of the inning. Baseball there's no timer, so he probably played another couple minutes, 10 minutes maybe,
right.
then went to the hot.
How do you know, it hurts no matter what?
Yeah.
With or without rupture, it's not a party.
Correct.
And it's not a good time.
No.
And so I don't know, without going off to the side and taking a look down there and seeing swelling and or bruising or right off the bat, I guess he's just thinking oh man, that hurts. This has happened a couple times, and that nauseous feeling that you get and whatnot. I guess that's why it goes unnoticed until 10 or 15 minutes later.
Right. But then it's interesting too, I think, right? He was out on the field at first base, the inning ended, and he went into the dugout, or maybe he didn't go in the dugout and he just went to third base and someone brought his stuff out and didn't have a moment.
Yeah.
And then it became unbearable, and then he had to
He's
go.
I gotta go.
And I think, I've been in situations where, name the sport, someone gets hit in the groin, they go down. You give them a minute, everything's kind of okay. And
still hurts, but they're okay.
Yeah, but you kind of treat it like that. And for the most part, my follow-up or it's hey, look, if we get a timeout here, we get something, let's go get a couple guys, make a little thing, just go check yourself out, make sure there's nothing actually wrong or crazy swelling or whatever.
Right.
And then when you're done that, go to the bathroom, make sure everything looks normal, your urine's normal color and all that.
Right. I hate to say this, and it would be great when we have somebody on. I don't know if it actually would wind up with blood in your urine.
Right, exactly.
There are definitely kidney issues and that whole chain, kidney, bladder, urine, whatnot. But this is outside of that chain.
Yeah.
Does blood wind up in?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
But so it's again, great question for when we have the specialist on. But it's one of those things of just all right, so they kind of, I don't know if they did or didn't do that, but at one point in time, it was okay, enough is enough. Or I would imagine, as unfortunately, most males who have experienced this situation where you get hit in the groin good enough, it takes a couple minutes, and then you're kind of all right, cool. I think that never happened, and I think that
it
might
never
have been,
started to subside. Right.
It was like, yeah, okay, I'm sure it hurts for a little bit, and you make it down the first. You kind of adrenaline's pumping, you're trying to figure it out, and then you're like, okay, this is probably, if anything, it's probably getting worse.
Yeah, it's going in the wrong direction.
And then it's like, okay, this is where we draw the line, then we got to go further, and then I'm sure whatever clinical, observations were made or whatever, you have to go to the bathroom, something looks way off, then you go.
He's third baseman or is it first baseman?
I think he plays the infield, yeah.
Yeah. I got to imagine he's thinking like, if this ball comes to me, there's no way I'm stopping it.
No.
Like the last thing I want to do is be in front of another ball.
Right, 100%. Like, no thank you.
And then, that it warrants basically urgent/emergent surgery. Mm-hmm. And typically, not to get in too many details, but like typically they sew it back together or remove it.
Yeah.
And neither option's spectacular. Yeah.
And I mean, I think to any listener, any young athlete, just wear a cup. You'll get used to it.
Yeah.
They make them pretty, I assume they're comfortable nowadays. Like, not
better than they were.
Yeah, I'm sure they're way better than the standard old jockstrap kind of deal.
Right.
They have the compression shorts that you can slide them into.
Yeah.
Just wear something to protect yourself.
Just wear it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Ask yourself the question, would you rather deal with a ruptured testicle or wear a cup?
Right.
I'll take a cup 10 times out of 10. Like, I'm good.
I mean, it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it feels as bad as it sounds.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, man.
To go back a little bit, going back and forth here to the UFC and combat sports and tough guy stuff.
Yeah.
Ben Askren made some headlines in the last month since we've talked, and he was back on a wrestling match just 12 months after being on a ventilator and receiving a double lung transplant because he had a severe pneumonia or he had a severe case of pneumonia. Needed double lung transplant, and then
unbelievable.
12 months later, he's wrestling.
It's unbelievable.
He's not just hanging out like at an old high school, going through like a little wrestling match. He wrestled Belal Muhammad at the RAF 11. I forget what the RAF stands for now. Something freestyle.
Real American freestyle.
Yes, real American.
I gotta tell you, I love the concept. The fact that they have freestyle wrestling, like real, like it, having wrestled, right? Like the high school and college in this country is folk style, and that's what we're used to. Freestyle is a little bit different. That you see freestyle and Greco-Roman in the Olympics, and differences are like scoring and stuff. Like this, a little bit. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
For me personally, the way that I wrestled, it didn't translate well to freestyle. I did a few freestyle tournaments. I was okay, but it's just a little bit different. I love the idea of trying to popularize it a little more because that is what the rest of the world does.
Yeah.
And it makes us, if it becomes more popular, it makes us better and more competitive when it comes Olympics.
Yeah.
And like the world championship type events. There is no folk style, Olympic medal. There's just freestyle and Greco-Roman. A lot more throws, scoring is just different, like exposing your back and pins are much quicker. Like it's just different. He's a legit, like he was an Olympic wrestler, and then had a UFC career.
Yep.
So like you would say, like in terms of like a healthy guy, like probably as healthy as they come. Like this is, and then like to get taken down by pneumonia.
Yeah.
It was MRSA, right? Like methicillin-resistant Staph aureus, like so the Staph aureus pneumonia that's a more virulent variety, but like someone who you have to imagine is one of the healthiest guys in the country.
Right.
Kind of. I have no idea what he does in his own time, in his private time, but like you have to imagine this is a pretty healthy guy.
But it's a safe general statement that most combat athletes are very well in shape people.
Incredible.
Like
incredible shape. You get pneumonia so bad. He was ICU for like 45 days on a vent. I read that his heart stopped. He had flatlined 4 times in that period of time. So he had to be revived 4 times. He had died 4 times in that period of time, waiting for a lung transplant.
Jeez.
Respiratory failure, right? So what that essentially means, and again, we're going to have our specialist on at some point, so we can talk about this more, right?
Right.
But essentially what respiratory failure is, or lung failure, as they've been saying, is you lose the ability for that oxygen carbon dioxide exchange, right? Like typically you take a breath in, fresh air, clean air, oxygen goes into your lungs. It goes down to the little alveoli, the little pouches at the very end. And there are blood vessels that wrap around that. And what happens is the oxygen goes from your lung from the alveoli into the blood, and your blood dumps off the carbon dioxide into those alveoli, and then you breathe out and get rid of the carbon dioxide, and now you've got blood in your bloodstream to go out to all your muscles and organs and everything like that. And if you have respiratory failure, for whatever the cause is, there's thickening or fibrosing or it's covered with a layer of mucus slime, inability to make that exchange, right? And I'll be honest, I didn't realize that you can get pneumonia and the net result be respiratory failure. You're unable to make that exchange. The fact that then he can go on and get a double lung transplant, then come back in a year, get back into shape and go wrestle in a match. It wasn't UFC, but it was still wrestling on a world-class level. And he ran out of gas during he was winning.
He came out strong. You know, he did really well, and then just,
of course he's not going to have
he's not going to have the endurance. Like the guy he wrestled against, Belal Muhammad, is very well in shape. I still think he's a standing UFC championship in middle.
I think welterweight. Yeah.
Another one of my favorite fighters, but like you go against somebody who's really good at wrestling and he's training regularly, and then you usually had your lungs taken out of your body 12 months ago, and you competed
somebody else's lungs in your body,
and you're competing at a high level for however long that first period was
on immunosuppressants. I mean, it's next level. Like it's not even real. Like, how did that happen? And how is it not a bigger story?
And I think I think for the first time in a while for Ben Askren, he's on the right side of a good story.
Right.
And I think, it's unfortunate to see, he had an okay UFC career, but then he was also on the wrong side of a lot of highlight reels.
Right.
He got knocked out by Jorge Masvidal with a 5-second knee to the face, went to sleep right on the mat within, like I said, 5 seconds into the fight.
Right.
He boxed Jake Paul and got knocked out. And the beginning of the Jake Paul era of boxing, which is like, and then the argument...
He's not a boxer, he's a wrestler.
Right, and that's the argument that everyone's like, okay, Jake Paul, you boxed a wrestler, and you knocked him out. Okay, great. Box a boxer and see what really happens.
Yeah.
And we saw how that happened. You broke your jaw.
Fair enough. Right, exactly.
But I think as a combat sports fan, I think this is a great story for Ben Askren to go out like this.
Yeah.
In a very successful and uplifting story.
Yeah, for sure. Even though we lost.
Yeah.
It's a win.
100%.
Yeah.
Win or lose, he was going to be a winner after that. And, that's what he kind of said, like in his post match interview. He was just like, I just wanted to do this one more time. And I thank everyone for coming because I did it for you guys too, as much as I did for me.
Yeah.
And, it sucked every day leading up
to actually compete, to not go out there and just get dominated.
Yeah.
Like to go out and actually compete in that match. And you have to imagine, what's his name?
Belal Muhammad.
Yeah. He's not taking it easy, right? No. If he loses that match, for him, like that's a stain on his career. Right. Yeah, for sure. And
I bet
incredible.
I would imagine, like, I haven't seen anything online about what Belal Muhammad's take on it, but I was sure he probably was end up like surprised, like, oh man, this guy's
what's going on?
Like, this guy isn't like, I'm not just gonna be able to take advantage of this guy. Like, I have to actually work for this.
How is he bringing it?
Yeah. And rightfully so. Like we said, he ran out of endurance and the second and third periods here. But of course he did. Like, if not shocked at all.
It's impossible for him to have not to like. It's, I mean, truly an amazing...
Guys run out of gas with their normal born lungs, and they
almost everybody. It's so
and they train
tiring.
regularly.
I know,
right?
And I'm very like I want to have one of our specialists on that can be a little more informed about it, because this is outside of our wheelhouse, right? Like, it's just it's medicine and we know something about it, but it's not like I would imagine that the expectation for someone after they've had a lung transplant is that your stamina is not going to be as good, your ability to exchange. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the when it's all said and done and you're healed, you're as good as you were before it all happened. But I just find it hard to believe that is the case. There has to be some diminishment in it's just crazy.
Yeah, I think my take on that was like, after a double lung transplant, you might just live your life well.
Just live.
You can go ride your bike on the boardwalk with your family and have a nice casual ride, but you're not competing at a high level.
Your goal is to do activities of daily living, to walk around, to enjoy life. Your goal is not to go out and wrestle the mat. Maybe get to jogging a mile at some point if you're still active. Amazing.
Play some pickleballs, nothing crazy.
Thinking a little bit here and there. Yeah, sure.
And here we are, wrestling at like one of the highest levels against someone who's an extreme or really good wrestler too.
And he's not a young guy.
No.
Is he 42 now? I think like or something
I think so. Yeah. Let me double check on that.
I had his age written down somewhere and I lost it, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's 42.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough enough at 42,
Yeah.
much less having a double lung transplant a year ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Really extraordinary. I almost wonder where he got it, where he had gotten it done. Not that it makes any difference, but
Yeah.
like I know in this region, a quick shout out to another system is I know that like that's a big part of the temple. So like that's one of the leading double lung or lung transplant centers in I think in the country, much not only in this region, but like yeah, just a wild and crazy.
So
thing.
he went to he received his double lung transplant in Wisconsin.
And, well, that's where he lives, right? Like I think
believe
coaches
so.
that was in Wisconsin now too, or did leading up to it. Presumably still does.
Yeah, and I think it's crazy how this story, like, again, I don't want to go too deep into it, but
Right.
like it was one of those stories where I think like I sent it to you right when I was like, this guy just had a double lung
Like
transplant.
how?
And it was just imagine of like, oh my God, he went from pneumonia to double lung transplant. He's a good athlete. How does this happen? And
Right.
then we shelved it. We didn't get really talking
Yeah.
to it. It just was one of those things, the many things I send you. Like,
Right.
hey, we want to talk about this.
Yeah.
And then here we are a year after, and it's like, now he's competing.
Now he's competing. Yeah.
Now, granted, he's not. He's done. He
done.
said this is it. But what a way to go out.
He had that goal. I want
Yeah.
to go out and I want to do this one more time,
Yep.
and he did. Yeah, and did it well.
Yeah.
Wasn't like just for show.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, wasn't going out and throwing the football 4 times or an at bat or
Right.
whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
all right, enough said. Enough said. Now,
Speaking of other 42-year-olds.
speaking of old,
Speaking of old.
nobody cares. He's unbelievable. He's the best ever.
Yeah.
Or could be.
We can't have our show without talking about our newest addition to the Philadelphia 76ers, LeBron James.
Injured or not, he's on the show.
Injured or not, he's on the show. I mean, without hesitation, he's been on the show many of times for all the injuries that he sustained in his 24-year career.
Think about that. 24-year career. He's been in the NBA, playing in the NBA for more years than not in his entire life.
Yeah.
Right? He's 42.
Yeah.
In 24 years.
He walked in at 18.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Almost approaching like
Over half of his life has been playing in the NBA, like in the extremely elite level, if
the
not the
highest
best
level.
ever. Right?
Yeah.
And then he's 41. Sorry, going to be 42. But either way,
Got it. Yeah.
old
yeah.
guy. And I think, it's funny. I think the beginning of last NBA season, we talked about a little bit about LeBron because he was having some back issues and some
Old guy.
yeah. I think he sciatica is what they were reported as having.
Sciatica.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay, now the old guy's joining this star-studded team with Joel Embiid, who's also very injury-prone and has been talked about on this show a lot.
Right.
But it's like, oh my God, it's really happened.
Yeah.
LeBron James is in Philly.
I am I grew up a Knickerbocker fan.
Yep.
But I live here, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it is exciting for me to see the home team. It's formidable. I don't know if this is true. It's been on talk radio, for the last, day or so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mind-boggling to me if this actually is true. But and I don't know who had written the email, but on May 10th, the day that the Knicks had knocked the Sixers out of the playoffs, some guy had written some email that, well, why don't the Sixers really need to draft what's his name? Phelan.
Yes.
LeBaron Phelan.
Yep.
They should trade. I mean, literally to a T. Right? They should trade Paul George and a couple picks to the Celts for Jaylen Brown, and then they should go after LeBron James, and like to a T, exactly what Ganji did. Like how does that happen? Like it's again. Astounding. It's like the lottery numbers coming out the day before the lottery.
Oh,
like,
I know.
How does that actually play out like that?
Right. Yeah, it's crazy that it happened. Everybody was all over this, and it was like, no. I think when it first started, it was like the Cleveland Cavaliers and Miami Heat and the Sixers are the top 3. And it's like, okay, how does he not go back to a team that he's already been on?
Yeah.
I was like,
You see all the advantages of Miami.
Yeah.
You understand the obvious advantages for him in Cleveland. And he's league minimum, taking the veteran league minimum to come here.
Yeah.
It's admirable, actually.
Yeah.
Like, it really is extraordinary.
Yeah.
Like
And I think it's a testament now to like what his focus is. He's made plenty of money for his lifetime in his career, right?
Right.
He's made so much money.
Yeah.
And he has all these endorsement deals and everything else he's in charge of in his own
Wealthy beyond imagination.
right.
Yeah.
And then he goes to this team for the league minimum, and he's just focused on winning a championship now.
He got slaughtered for the decision, right?
Yeah.
Like way back when, and I think that hung over his head a little bit.
Yeah.
For this whole this I don't want to say process because he even slipped. He didn't slip, but he did the whole trust the process, which I have to assume was a hint. But like I think that sort of tainted this, and it hung over his head a little bit as he went through this process of deciding where he was going to go. I have to say, man, and he's a guy who has become a little bit easy to hate because he's so good, and because of like the way that the decision when he went to Miami unfolded. But really, honestly, I feel like it's sour grapes from a lot of people, just like me, who was a Knicks fan, hoping he was going to wind up in New York at that particular point in time.
Right.
And but if you think about what he's done through his career, and like at least the public, like he does everything right. He's a family guy.
Yeah.
He plays extremely well. I don't know what he is in the locker room. Like I think he runs the show, so it's a little bit tough there. But like he seems to care about his teammates. He's delivered. Like you can't say the guy has not been clutch and delivered in every way that he was supposed to.
Correct.
Very easily in the argument and I grew up watching Jordan. It's really hard to say that Jordan wasn't the greatest of all time, but like he's that good. Like I mean, you make the argument. And now he does this, right? Like in terms of like publicity and making decisions and like just doing the right thing, then to come out and be like very clearly winning championships is so important to him that he was going to pass up on these other cities where he has these other ties
Roots,
too,
right? Yeah.
To come and play for almost for nothing to try to win some more championships where he thought it would work.
Yeah, and I mean, at this stage of the game, right, he just kind of eyed up and down the rosters and was like, I think I can fit in best here, I guess.
Right.
And that's just what worked. And I think it also helped that he had a little bit of a relationship from back in the day with Mike Gansey or whatever. So it's like that helps a little bit.
Sure.
I don't think it's end all be all. Like everything else had to fall into place.
Right. So with that, if it falls into place, who handles the ball?
Yeah.
Who's the best player on that team now?
Right. Like, I saw some early, and this is all early reporting stuff. Like, people are saying that LeBron's going to be the point guard going into this, and it's like, that's great. I think that works because you just need him to be the floor general.
Yeah,
he didn't have to be the all-star. You have,
but he will be.
Yeah,
still. Yeah.
I mean, we looked up his stats before we started recording. He still averaged 20 points a game last year.
Yeah,
at 40 years old, and then I think I've seen throughout last season a lot of comparisons of other people who played in their 40s, and they're averaging 5 points a game, and he's averaging 20. Couple assists here. He was averaging, I don't know, like 7 or 8. Like,
right.
He's still close to averaging a double-double at 40-something years old.
Right. Is it like literally? Is there anything he can't do? Right. Like he came into the league this unbelievable dunking machine, like explosive freak athlete. Yeah. And he developed a 3-point shot, which was great.
Yeah.
Became a great 3-point shooter. And to be that big and that strong and whatnot and still have the ball handling skills that like at 40 maybe become the point guard of a team. Like how? And then I don't know who's better, Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown. At this point, I would argue that it's not Embiid anymore because of the injuries. But when Embiid is healthy, he's still a force out there.
Yeah.
Like, he can do amazing things.
Yeah, I think.
And we're not even talking about Edgecombe.
VJ Edgecombe or Jaylen Brown at all. Like we haven't even really mentioned them in the discussion, right? Like I think the benefit now is that you have an even mix of who can take over a game if you need to. And eventually,
5 different guys.
One of the 5 is going to be open or have a better matchup.
Yeah.
Or against a defender. So you game plan that way. And if it doesn't work, okay, give it to the guy next to him, and he's probably going to be really good.
Give it to the hot hand.
Yeah.
Whoever has the hot hand, you have a lot of options.
And I think, continuing, that's kind of should be their take for the most part. Just, all right, start the game, see who's got the hot hand, ride with it a little bit. If it gets cold, someone else step up and see what happens.
Now, there is a lot of age on that team.
Yeah.
And then that can come back to haunt them. Like they got to keep those guys healthy.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they manage that.
Yeah, and I think we looked it up. He said played about 60 out of the 82 games last year. He had some injuries on and off, and Joel Embiid also didn't play every game. And never will never play a full season going forward. But I think you can kind of intertwine the lineup a little bit and give these guys enough days off of rest, and then you ride the young guys. VJ Edge coming, Tyrese Maxey are going to play a lot of games.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're going to take over, and like they did last year.
I think if you can get 60 games out of LeBron, and if you can get 50 games out of Embiid, and those other key pieces don't have any big injuries that miss a lot of time, like, look out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a legit contending team.
Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to see what happens. I think it'll also be interesting to see who we end up talking more about throughout the NBA season on this show.
Embiid.
Embiid still will be our hot topic, like always.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, sight to see and exciting time to be a 76er fan. It's just
Philly's going nuts. It really is amazing.
And I think the economic effect of LeBron is just crazy already.
Right.
People are already buying more tickets, buying more merch, buying the jerseys, everything. And I'm sure the games are now going to be electric. I think there's even talks of the old in-house PA announcer is going to unretire to do one season.
Are you serious?
I just saw something, I think, before when I was setting up today. It's like, they're trying to get him to come back just for one season to announce LeBron after all his long career.
I've heard two things. One, that he is going to be living in New York and flying back and forth. Mm-hmm. I think his daughter's going to school in New York. But also heard he may be buying a house in Haddonfield. Yeah. So there go the prices of the houses in Haddonfield. I'll take it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny. I also saw something interesting on why he chose Philly is because he's planning his retirement, and then he doesn't have good connections with all the golfing scenes in the East Coast.
It is a great area to launch from.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's he's got LA covered.
Pine Valley, considered one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Right? Like so shockingly, right?
Yeah. And then I think it's also I'm from Vineland, New Jersey, right? And we have Trout National. Just
that whole thing developing.
Developing is going to be
crazy.
So me and my buddies were just talking today in our group chat. It's like, you guys think LeBron's going to become the Vineland, New Jersey to golf now because he's going to be in Philly a lot?
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, maybe.
Good chance.
Yeah.
Very good chance.
When is that supposed to be finished?
I think it is.
Is it done?
I think it's done.
It's Tiger Woods and Trout together, right?
Yeah. And I think there's some other stuff going on because there's like an AI data center involved in the whole production of things. That
sounds about right.
Causing some riffraff in Vineland, but it's definitely I think it's pretty much done, and I think it's got a good reviews from what and some pictures I saw. It looks really nice.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I just remember seeing like a big fence or like kind of a wall up at one point or another. Yeah.
Interesting to see how it all shakes out. Anything else for tonight? I mean, I don't have much else on our.
World Cup was amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate. I will say I'm a little upset that we just didn't. The timing of everything, we didn't get to touch on the World Cup.
Great performance by the U.S.
Yeah.
The team and the country as a whole, like in general, like hosting and like what a good,
I think
it went over incredibly well.
A great product and a great entertainment was put on by Canada, Mexico, and USA to host the World Cup, and I think everything went really good. I thought the final game was great.
Wow.
Spain, Argentina.
How about the consolation game between England and
France, right?
Yeah. Oh my!
They just turned it on that second half, and great. It went nuts. And I think also, we can one piece about the Argentinian goalie who was crazy.
That guy was amazing.
Amazing, set a record for the most saves in a World Cup final.
Yeah.
Played the whole thing. No, he played the whole thing with a broken hand.
Oh, it was a whole game.
No, the whole
tournament.
Cup, the whole tournament.
I didn't know that.
He broke his hand in the friendly matches, like the qualifying matches, and he went against all advice.
Yeah.
So I read into it a little bit, and it's like he went against. Everyone said he needed to get a pin in and get it. So he had a displaced fracture in his hand.
Yeah.
This whole time.
Yeah.
And it was a significant amount of time since the injury to the final. So he probably has a deformed finger or something of some sort.
Sure. Yeah.
But man, he went out with unfortunately he didn't win it, but
soccer players now showing their toughness as well. What is going on here?
We talked about the toughness of baseball and soccer all in the same. Crazy.
That's awesome. That's great.
So that's
goalies are a different breed. They're a little tougher.
Goalies are definitely a different animal. So before we go ahead and close out our tab for tonight, just another quick shout out to our sponsors, Virtual Orthopedics and Spine. From runner's knee to dog walker's hip, they have a doc for that. Yard work, back, and laptopers, they have a doc for that too. Virtual Orthopedics and Spine has over 120 providers, 20 PT rehab facilities, and more than 25 surgical centers all across South Jersey. So find the right specialist for you at virtua.org/ortho and our good friends at Protected. They have a full suite of customized bracing products that you can order via a quick 30-second 3D scan on an iPhone app. It's a great ultimate tool belt upgrade for any athletic trainer. They're our go-to solution for custom face masks that are used across the NBA, which LeBron wore once upon a time.
He's not the only one.
WNBA and Embiid, WNBA, Elite Soccer. They have AC joint pads that don't restrict range of motion, hand and wrist splints that keep players totally functional. So go check out their 3D printed products in person at www.protect3d.io to learn more.
And when we say that they wore the face mask, they actually wore Protected.
Yeah.
There are a lot of NBA players that have wore Protected.
Correct. Those face masks you see in the NBA are from Protected. Yep. And then, of course, Neck of the Woods Brewing Company giving them the most delicious beers in the area, and Timber Reel Production helping us get all this media out to all you listeners and all you watchers. So give us a like and a follow on our social medias, and we'll see you next time.